Microsoft ceases support for Windows XP. Sunday afternoon talks on political reform in Shanghai. And dozens arrested in Ukraine over occupation of government building. Good evening. If your computer runs on a Windows XP operating system, then starting tomorrow you will no longer be able to update your system with Microsoft. That's because Microsoft is retiring its support for Windows XP, which was released more than 12 years ago. Millions of XP users will be exposed to security risks from hackers, including more than 5,000 computers currently used by the SAR government. Rachel Leung has more. It's now understood that lawmakers visiting Shanghai this weekend will hold talks with top central government officials on political reform on Sunday afternoon. But as Rani Santani reports, there's still no word yet on whether a separate meeting between pan-democrats and the Beijing officials will take place. The defense chiefs of China and the United States faced off today over Beijing's escalating territorial disputes in the region. Defense Minister Chang Wan-chuan and US Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel met today for a round of talks in Beijing. Hagel said China doesn't have the right to unilaterally establish an air defense zone over disputed islands such as those known as the Diaoyus by China and the Senkakus by Japan. He said America will defend Tokyo in a dispute with Beijing. Chang responded saying China won't take the initiative to stir up trouble with Japan, but is ready to use its military to safeguard its territory. In a less confrontational episode yesterday, Hagel took a 2-hour tour on China's first aircraft carrier. It's seen as an opening by Beijing to view a potent symbol of its military might. An Australian ship that picked up underwater sounds consistent with the pings from an aircraft's black boxes yesterday was unable to detect any further signals today. But as this is the most promising lead to finding the missing Malaysia Airlines flight MH370, searchers are in a race against time to confirm the breakthrough. Sonia Artero reports. A bomb has ripped through a train parked at a station in southwestern Pakistan. 14 people were killed and about 50 wounded. The explosion happened in the city of Sibi in Balochistan province. The bomb went off after it reached the station and passengers were boarding and disembarking. The train was heading to Rawalpindi. The separatist group United Baluch Liberation Army has claimed responsibility for the attack. Militants say it was in retaliation for a military operation yesterday against the group's activists. The separatists have accused the government of human rights violations in the province. Ukrainian police have detained 70 people who were occupying a government building in the east of the country. The government calls the police action an anti-terrorist operation aimed at separatists. But unrest continues to roil the region amid growing accusations that Moscow is orchestrating the crisis. James Aiken has more. The main separatist party in the Canadian province of Quebec has suffered a crushing defeat in a provincial election. The loss is a major setback for the cause of independence in the mainly French-speaking region. The Liberals, who are staunch supporters of Canadian unity, captured more than 70 of the National Assembly's 125 seats. They will now form a majority government under leader Philippe Couillard. Quebec Premier Pauline Marois called the snap elections last month in a bid to secure a majority government. But the campaign stirred up speculation that a Parti Québécois majority would ultimately lead to another referendum on independence from Canada. Marois, who lost her own district seat, has announced she will step down as party leader. Back locally, Indonesian domestic helper Ariana Sulistianingsih, allegedly battered by her former employer for months last year, went to visit a lawyer today to help with evidence for the case. Yesterday, after her return to Hong Kong, she was driven to the Indonesian Consulate General under police escort instead of staying at a shelter for migrant workers as planned. The Indonesian Migrant Workers Union held a protest outside the consulate today. More from Rani Santani. The amount of shark fin products imported here has seen a substantial decrease. Meanwhile, the government has been urged to do more to help reduce consumption. The local shark fin trade is feeling the pinch as public opposition grew. Last year, the amount of shark fin imports declined by 34.7%. Re-export volumes, meanwhile, dropped by 17.5%. Underlying this is a big 90% drop to the mainland, which resulted in Vietnam taking the #1 spot among Hong Kong's re-export markets.
I think that it's the contribution of many of the stakeholders, including the government, the individual and caterers, and also the corporations. Because when in 2013, we know that the Hong Kong government and also the China government had done something about to ban the shark fin soup on their official reception.
There is a direct correlation between this sharp decline in the import of shark fin products and the rising popularity of shark-free banquets. This wedding planner noted a rise of 20% in the number of customers asking for shark fin-free banquets. He added that in many cases it's not the couples themselves, but their parents who come up with the idea of keeping the item off the menu. WWF Hong Kong is urging the government to comply with international obligations under the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. They want the government to better track the species and origin of all shark fin products coming here. And in sports, Tottenham posted a big win over Sunderland in the English Premiership last night, the visitor. And tonight's winning Mark 6 numbers are 11, 24, 31, 45, 46 and 47. The extra number is 6. A look at the weather before we go. Cloudy with a few showers at first, sunny intervals tomorrow. Temperatures between 20 and 24 degrees. That's all from the newsroom for now. Thanks for joining us. Good night.